It's time for another edition of the Morning Juice on KKOJ and the Fiesta event that's coming up on Thursday, September 26th with the Jackson Center for the Arts. We have one of the special guests that will be there, Luke Cardona. Thank you so much for your time today, Luke.
Hi there.
You are with Conjunto Showcase. So let's talk about that first and foremost, because this is not the only thing that you guys have been doing in the area that's exciting.
Yeah, no, so the Conjunto, what we're calling it the Conjunto Showcase in Minnesota. It's a state arts board grant-funded project that started earlier this year that provides some resources for us to celebrate Mexican Conjunto music. Back in the 1950s and 60s and 70s, there was a big population of Mexican migrants from South Texas and, of course, from northern Mexico. And their style of music that they played and listened to was called Conjunto music. And my grandfather played and listened to that, too, back way back then. And in the 1970s, he started his own Conjunto band in Minnesota. And so for many decades, 3-4 decades, there was a big population of those Mexican folks here that really enjoyed that music. We've seen that change over a little bit to a different kind of genre of Mexican-style music that the immigrants in Mexico are really listening to these days, which is a little bit different than Mexican Conjunto music that we're used to. And so we're seeing, like many cultural genres, that genre kind of take a back seat, kind of be forgotten about, and we want to find a way to really embrace and educate and enhance this cultural music of ours. And so we started this program called Conjunto Showcase in Minnesota, which provides us some funding to pay for venues and rent out spaces and hire bands that still play that type of music in Minnesota. And so we did our very first one ever in St. James last May, and it was great. We had two bands, one from southern Minnesota, one from the Twin Cities area, that play that Conjunto-style music. We had about 100 people out to the 225 Event Center for dancing, food truck, face painting, other things like that were there. And our second one is coming up, obviously a partnership with the Jackson Center for the Arts, where we're going to provide the music. And then we have a really big event in October in St. Paul, where we're bringing a nationally known Grammy Award-winning Conjunto band from San Antonio, Texas. And they're going to perform and put on an educational workshop. And there's also going to be two local bands opening for them as well. So our whole mission and our whole goal is to just promote Conjunto music, educate more people on it, the folks that remember it from years back, giving them an opportunity to hear it live without having to pay tons of money or travel far to go see it. We want to provide this music accessible, to make it accessible to folks, and also be able to uplift our artists and our musicians that are still playing this. So we're very excited to partner with the Jackson Center for the Arts because they're throwing this great event that we get to bring some music into and get to kind of work together on that.
What an awesome way to kind of keep tradition alive and keep it going strong. That's so cool. And let's talk about especially Los Rebeldes, because that's who's going to be at the Fiesta and the event itself on the Thursday.
Yeah. So taking a quick step back, this whole thing started because I was recommended to apply for some cultural grants that said, hey, listen, you can get your band out there more and really showcase your talents in Conjunto music. And that's been great. And we're very fortunate that my band stays pretty busy. And so I wanted to expand upon that to be not just exclusive of my band, but to include other artists like that. So in this one at St. James, it is going to be Los Rebeldes, a band that my grandfather started back in the 70s with my father and my uncles and my great uncle. And we've been very consistently playing for about 4 decades now. I'm 36, and I started in this band when I was 12, and that's a pretty common story for some other elders in my family that joined. My father, again, he's been in our band since day one, and he's still there. And so we have this long tradition of Conjunto music right here in Minnesota, in southern Minnesota specifically, and we're very excited to keep sharing that, and we're bringing that to Jackson as part of the Conjunto Showcase, so we're making it affordable, and again, it's not costing the Arts Center anything, and we work this partnership out to go to bring this style of music, and we play other styles as well, so we're going to bring some fun, country, folk rock to it as well, but our core and bread and butter is Conjunto music, and so this band is very near and dear to my heart, and we have the opportunity to use it as a platform to educate and promote our our cultural music, and that's kind of exactly what we're doing here. And we haven't been to Jackson. I think my uncle said they played there maybe 30-some years ago, or at least in the area, and so it's really fun to bring that to a new audience and to that part of the state.
Yeah, man, that all sounds really cool, like you're saying. I mean, because another natural question that I want to ask is just what it does mean to you to keep the larger tradition going. And it sounds like there's a huge personal ties for you to keep it going and everything and kind of, expand upon it and just be a representative of a lot of these pieces of culture that sound really special.
Yeah, I think it's really important for all communities of any sort of culture or history to do what they can to keep their music alive, their arts alive, their traditions alive. And I'm one person, but I partner with other people and work with folks to help do ours in the Mexican American community in southern Minnesota and in the Twin Cities. It's really important to me that people have an opportunity to hear the music that they either grew up with or that their grandparents knew or great-grandparents knew, because it's so quick and so easily that can go away, right? We know with our own, I love Dave Matthews Band, but I know that in probably, 50, 100 years, there's going to be a generation of people that just don't know who Dave Matthews Band is or don't understand the jam band era. And so somebody's going to have to keep that alive, right? It's the same thing with Mexican American music, with Conjunto music, with any other ethnic or cultural group. There has to be some ambassadors out there that really carry the flag for that and support what their history and where they came from. And that's just what we're doing here on a small scale, semi-large scale, whatever it is, whatever we can do. I've got great musicians and family that support this band and support the project. And we're just really excited to keep this thing going. It means a lot to me, but it means a lot to people in our community as well.
We got me excited about it, and they'll be in our community here in Jackson as part of the Fiesta on Thursday, September 26th with Jackson Center for the Arts. And, yeah, that has been Luke Cardona. Thank you so much for your time, and appreciate you giving us this preview of the event. Yeah.
Have a great one.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, man. The Fiesta and the 4th annual salsa competition, of course, coming up on a Thursday. And yeah, it's all free will donation. Jackson Center for the Arts. Make sure you bring your chair. There's authentic Mexican food starting at 5:30, along with that music in downtown Jackson. An exciting piece of the fall calendar that's coming up here in late September on this Thursday, August 26th, over at JCA. Thank you once again to Luke Cardona. Thank you out there for listening to another edition of The Morning Juice here on KKOJ.